Hey everybody, Michael Morelli here with another edition of the Morelli Monologue. If you remember back about a month ago when I did my first episode, I told you that Cytokinetics was scheduled to release their results of their Phase 2 clinical trial, and they were going to release these results during the 2018 annual Cure SMA conference. This conference was held in my hometown of Dallas, Texas, from June the 14th through June the 17th. Since it's been a few weeks since the conference concluded, I thought I would come on and give you a brief update regarding the results that Cytokinetics announced during this conference. Along with sharing the results with you regarding Cytokinetics Phase 2 clinical trial, I'm also going to be sharing something else with you that I think you'll find really interesting. Toward the end of the conference, Cure SMA hosted a live stream on their Facebook page, and this live stream was done during the researcher Q&A session. This Q&A session brought all of the researchers and the doctors up on stage from their various pharmaceutical companies. And during the end of the Q&A session, I was allowed to ask a question to the doctors. My question was posed to the doctors from Cytokinetics and Biogen, and I asked the question about whether or not these two pharmaceutical companies were planning on doing a combination of their two drugs together. Cytokinetics' drug, reldesemtiv, works at the muscular level, and Biogen's drug Spinraza works at the cellular level. If you watch my presentation, I think you'll be shocked, as I was, regarding the answer that they gave me. After you watch the presentation, I'll come back and I'll give you my final thoughts. Thank you. Clinical trial results, Cytokinetics. During the 2018 annual Cure SMA conference, data from a recently completed clinical trial testing reldesemtiv for a first time in SMA patients, including adolescents and adults with types 2 through 4, were presented by Dr. John Day, a professor of neurology and pediatrics at Stanford University. Data from a Phase 2 clinical trial showed reldesemtiv improved muscle strength for walking and respiration in a dose-dependent manner in spinal muscular atrophy patients. As a fast muscle activator, reldesemtiv will not treat the underlying causes of SMA, which is a lack of the SMN protein to nourish muscles. But, in reality, that isn't its intent. This potential therapy is meant to be used in conjunction with disease-modifying gene therapies, both the one approved, Spinraza by Biogen, and others possibly coming up for approval. Dr. Fady Malik, Executive Vice President of Research and Development at Cytokinetics, stated that in total, 8 different tests were assigned as primary measures of treatment effectiveness because they, quote, all measure different things. And this study was meant to be an exploratory study to see where would a muscle activator manifest itself, end quote. Test results. Results presented by Dr. Day at the conference focused on 2 primary measures, the 6-minute walk distance test and the maximal exploratory pressure test or respiratory muscle strength. The results for treated patients, relative to those given a placebo, were good at both doses, although clearly better in the 450 mg high-dose group. In the 6-minute walk distance test, patients treated with 150 mg twice a day walked 10.86 meters further than placebo patients in 6 minutes after 4 weeks of treatment, and 7.72 meters further after 8 weeks. High-dose group patients increased their distance by 35.63 meters compared to placebo at 4 weeks, and by 24.89 meters at 8 weeks of treatment. Likewise, muscles used to breathe also showed increased strength upon treatment. Maximum exploratory pressure, or the maximum positive pressure generated in a single exhale, increased by 5.95 centimeters and 9.17 centimeters of oxygen in the low and high dose groups at 4 weeks, respectively, relative to placebo, and 11.69 centimeters and 13.15 centimeters at 8 weeks. Importantly, safety was shown with no serious side effects in any reldesemtiv treated patients and was well tolerated. No dose-limiting effects were seen, and future trials may test higher doses. Healthy volunteers in earlier Phase 1 trials, quote, were able to achieve exposures that were about double to what we saw in this study, with increases in the effect of the drug on muscle function, end quote. Looking ahead, patients taking Spinraza or another disease-modifying therapy, should one be approved, while testing reldesemtiv are rather definite because of the potential treatment's complementary nature. Even if these therapies show a clinically significant delay in disease progression, treated infants and children will still have muscle damage and need a muscle activator like reldesemtiv. Dr. Malik went on to say the following, quote, "There's some remarkable data that has come out of the trials of nusinersen and some other gene therapy approaches, but it's unlikely those therapies are going to completely normalize muscle function," end quote. Dr. Malik also stated the following, quote, "Future trials are going to be looking at a very different background of therapy, so we'll need to study this in combination. We think that's a good thing," end quote.
Yes, I would like to also second the gentleman's comment about thanking you guys for the hard work that you do. First off, I've got a question or a comment for the doctor from Biogen. I apologize for not remembering your name, but I think the only reason why I've got a name tag on is to remember my own name. If you think about 2 years ago, people like myself who were, I'll be 53 in August, we had no hope. So you guys had them in swallow. So thank you for that. My question is actually for Dr. Radnicki. I hope I'm not butchering your name, I apologize. But with regards to your drug, I know that reldesemtiv works at the muscular level, while Biogen's drug Spinraza works at the cellular level. I know that I've already asked this question, but now that you two are sitting next to each other, I would really appreciate if you guys would go into a room and figure out how to get your two drugs to work together. Because if you think about it, we're all looking for that 1-2 punch. If we can get something on the muscular and cellular level, that would be an answer to a lot of our prayers.
So in our trial, we did exclude patients who were on nusinersen either currently or previously. But part of that was we were halfway through our trial when nusinersen was approved. Weldon and I were on actually a phone call a couple months ago talking about the interest of looking at it in animals together, combination therapy in animals. So getting some of that preclinical data that would be useful. Given that the mechanisms of action are so different, we envision that combination therapy using a drug that works on muscle versus a drug that works on on the motor neuron, SMN production, et cetera, would make sense.
Okay, so I hope you enjoyed my presentation that I did for you, and I hope you got some information out of it that you can use as well. If Cytokinetics and Biogen take this combination therapy into animal trials, and if these animal trials are successful and they produce some positive results, we could very well see them take this combination therapy into clinical trial status in the coming years. Now remember, if they go into clinical trial status, it's going to be quite a few years before they get it passed through the FDA to become an actual treatment for those of us with SMA. And even though it may be 3 or 4 years down the road, I've been telling everyone for a long time that we have a lot to look forward to, and this is proof to my point. If you enjoyed this video, give us a thumbs up and subscribe to the SMA News Today YouTube channel. We would greatly appreciate it. Remember, when you subscribe to the channel, click on the bell icon to be notified of any new videos that we produce. We hope everyone's having a fantastic day. And until next time, take care of yourself. Bye-bye.